All right, we live. Welcome y'all to another episode of the Presidential Executive. We're going on with your boy right here, JB. This is my brother over here, El Presidente Rag. What's going on, my boy?
Man, what it do?
You know what it is, man. Y'all go ahead and like this video right now wherever you stream podcasts. Like the video. I'm gonna say it again. Like the video. I'm saying every time I'm saying it every week. We get more and more, likes, maybe because I'm stressing it more or something like that.
Speaking it into existence.
Yeah. So whether we live or replay, go ahead and like this video. Or wherever that you stream podcasts, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. All right, man.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all, like he said, like it, man. Make sure y'all share it if you enjoy it. If you find something that we say that is palatable for you, share it. It don't cost you anything. You don't have to put no caption. All you got to do is just put it on your page, subscribe. Like if you follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the PresX TV on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Instagram. If you're on X, subscribe to us on X. And I know I posted a lot on my TikTok and my Snapchat as well. So when y'all see it, just go. I mean, you don't even have to check it up often. If you subscribe, when you check your X, when I post the notifications and stuff, it'll pop up. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications on your YouTube. It'll come through whenever we get ready to drop, as well as Facebook. You'll get a notification. So please subscribe. It helps us. It helps the algorithm. So again, we're not even asking for your money. Just give us a like, just give us a share, just give us a subscribe. Now, again, if you want to send us money, we ain't never turning it down. But we're not asking for your money. Just like, share, or subscribe.
Yeah, until we get that Patreon up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you get the Patreon up.
We gonna get the good Patreon. We keep saying that, but we got it's a period. We're getting into the flow. I know I'm getting into the flow of a schedule and doing all this stuff. So
see, that'll be like the PresX After Dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It'll be something like that. Cause we've had plenty of conversations of guests that we had off camera.
Yeah,
that
we went for an extra 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Yeah,
and and it would have been good to just you know what I'm saying, chop for them to hear the kind of behind the curtain conversations.
Right. But that's why I was kind of saying even before the show, we need Vic. We need, the third man to kind of capture that. Because if we both talking to something like that, I can't necessarily film it while we, you know what I'm saying? So, if Vic, Crown,
shout out to Crown Vic, man. Shout out to Crown 901 Media, man. Crown Vic, DJ Crown Vic.
Yeah.
However, our boy Victor Lynch, you know what I'm saying? The legend himself, man. He helped us from day one. We wouldn't be doing nearly what we're doing without his expertise and his talent, his gifts, and his input. You know what I'm saying? And so for us, he's not just been a friend of the show and a part of the show. But he's been a brother to us for years, and then me and him we go way back. He been a little brother to me in real life. Damn near his whole life. So man, we miss you, Vic. We need you back on the show. And y'all go follow him too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need some videos, some pictures done. I want to say, shoot, if y'all need some painting done, his wife paints, man,
she do.
Y'all support their business. You know what I'm saying?
She cold with it. With it. So yeah, man, we got a lot. We got a few things to talk about here, man. The obvious thing, I think, maybe it dropped. Maybe about almost a week ago now. The Tyre Nichols.
Right.
The Tyre Nichols case. When the officers. What happened to him? What year was that? Was that 2023? I think it was 2023. I think
23 or 22.
Yeah, I think something like that.
It's surprising how fast time goes by.
I'm thinking it's 23 though.
Because we actually covered it when it happened.
Yeah. Because actually that was the week we had Reggie on the show, Harris.
Right. Dr. Harris. Yep.
Yeah.
I want to say then it might have been 23.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was 23.
Yeah, it was definitely 2023 because he passed on January 10th, 2023.
Yep. So the Tyre Nichols case, man, the 3 officers were found not guilty, I think, on all the charges. And honestly, even with me, I wasn't even keeping up with it like that. I knew that the trial was about to come up and stuff. And I just hoping it was going to turn out in a way that would be favorable. You know what I'm saying? But then I saw what they did with the jury. They got all the jury. None of the jury was from here. I think some of them were in-state, but none of them were from Memphis, the Memphis area. I believe all of them were Caucasian. White, I believe. That's what I saw as well. You know, so how I feel about it is I see everybody getting in an uproar about it, which I think we should to a degree, but then these were just state charges, I believe. These were just state charges. They still up for federal charges. I don't think they're gonna get off scot-free on the Fed side when it goes to a Fed court, national and stuff like that. It just sucks because I think that the what's not the superintendent, what's the head chief of police here, whatever what they call her, Davis last
Davis,
name.
yeah, Davis.
You know what I mean? So I hate to say I think it was not a setup, but just set her up for success, because if you think about it, if they did get found guilty on city or state charges, that would have been the kind of indictment on her, the whole department, and then probably pull another investigation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? CJ Harris. CJ Davis, yeah. So I do think this was kind of, I want to say, rigged to a degree on the state side, just because, just to kind of save face. We got a new mayor, Paul Young, that they really bigging up and, you know, putting his face in the community and, you know, trying to turn the page in the city of Memphis, right? And so I think if they did find these folks guilty on state charges, they just kind of forfeited the state charges, be like, oh yeah, they're going to get them on the Fed side. You know, this is just my opinion, my thoughts, that they forfeit the state charges so the city of Memphis won't have this black eye and won't be any more investigations. But on the Fed side, I think they definitely going to get some charges going on with that.
I mean, and you know, like, we bigged up Mayor Young when he got elected.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, you know, he been fucking up too. And so I'm one.
Yep.
I'm going to applaud you when you're doing well. When you're fucking up, I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm not even, that's a whole nother story for another day.
Right. Yeah, but that's true though.
You know, like, it's soft on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're soft on crime here. You know, and I've stated, like, yes, I love my people, but at the same time, you walking around with guns that the military don't even got. For what?
Switches.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got that many enemies, you're doing something wrong in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's that serious, then you need to change career paths.
Yeah.
You know, you have no vision, you have no dreams, you have no hope. You know, you're not setting yourself up for any kind of future. Like, you're putting a target on yourself. Yeah. Your actions are preparing you to leave here early. You know what I'm saying? Then you're trying to get other people to leave here early. Like, it's no reason why you should be roaming the streets. Again, conversation for another day. But also, and we have to stop doing this. Now, granted, you know I'm big on accountability. I'm not one that when I get in trouble, I'm late for work. Well, y'all ain't saying nothing to JB. That ain't got nothing to do with me being late.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what you got going on at home. I don't know what your life like. I don't know what your vehicle situation like.
Yeah.
You do not get one dime out of my paycheck.
Yeah.
So why the hell, when I get in trouble, am I worried about what you got going? So we got to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when people do something wrong, we have to stop justifying the wrong. Well, maybe he should have complied. Maybe that's when they train you.
Yeah.
It is no training video that exists that will show police officers beating somebody until they die, choking somebody out until they die, strangling somebody until they die, shooting somebody 20-something times. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, and we justify it because it's like, well, and I get it. Police officers, unfortunately, are worth more dead than they are alive. Their insurance and stuff will cover their family and stuff. Like, you make more money if you die than if you are living. They see certain horrors and things like that. Some of them have PTSD that they never get rid of because, like, I mean, when you walk in crime scenes, they see bodies ripped up sometimes. They see dead children sometimes. Like, they see domestic violence cases where, like, and they think about their sister or their mom or their aunt or a cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see women beaten to a pulp or kids abused, sexually abused. Like, they see this stuff and they have to live with that. So I'm not sensitive to the horrors and things that they deal with. At the same time, that does not give you a right. You are not the judge, jury, and executioner. And so when situations happen where, because if I was to beat somebody to death, I promise you I wouldn't get off. Not unless they broke into my house or was, attacking, you know what I'm saying, somebody in my family or something. Like, no. If I just don't like somebody, I got an issue with somebody, and I beat them to death, I'm going to serve the consequence for whatever that is. You having a badge does not give you the right to do that. Especially at some point when the guy can't move anymore. At some point, even if you got to whoop some ass, at some point it's a stopping point.
Right. But that was the thing with me. Now with other incidents, Michael Brown, the stuff that happened up there in Minnesota, like you heard both sides. Like I never heard the other side of this time. Everybody was like, especially if you saw the video from the beginning to the end, like they set Buddy up. You know what I'm saying? It was a setup, and so the only thing that I can even say, that's why I think it was more we booted this state and city charges just to make the city, because we turned the corner. We see all the stuff we building downtown, the construction, all the other things, the initiatives that they got going around the city is like, okay, we don't need to have another blackout in Memphis, because sure enough, if they would have been found guilty, they would have been blasted everywhere, CNN, all Memphis, this, and we talked about this on the show a lot of times, how Memphis always, you know what I'm saying, gets the black eye, and people talk about us on the negative side a lot, and so I think they saw that coming, and they were just like, "Nah, we'll boot this because the federal charges, that's the one that's probably gonna stick the most, and they probably gonna get it."
I mean, again, like I think that it has the
Which I don't like
opposite
that.
effect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that we are trying to turn a corner, it's just it'll set a precedent. A precedent.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, no, but then at the same time, like I said, then we got to be tough on crime too, and then it shows some consistency. It's like, okay, they not playing. If you law enforcement and you violate, we not playing with you. But at the same time, if you're a regular citizen and you violate, like again, I don't have no sympathy for cop killers. Like I don't. I believe I've shared this on the show before, but I actually witnessed a shootout with a man versus the police, and he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And they was asking, like, do you want to, like, TBI want to talk? Like, I ain't got nothing to say to TBI. I ain't see shit. And I saw the whole thing from damn near start to finish. But my thing was, well, why don't you want to? I said, look, I work with kids in this city. I work with a lot of the youth in this city. And the last thing they need to see me is on TV talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they go, oh, Coach Rail, Mr. Roche snitching. Like, nah, I ain't saying shit. But what I said was, but the last thing I said was, I don't feel no sympathy for him because he pulled a gun on the police. He started shooting at them. He had a gun that they didn't have. Like I'm talking about that clip.
So
the clip was like dude, this micro, like he had a pit, but the clip was like that.
So you saying the dude pulled out on the popo?
Yes.
Okay.
And they laid him out.
Yeah. Right.
And so my thing was, you get what you pay for. You want to live that life. You want to be that. Because again, I would have hated for those police officers who were just doing their job to have not been able to go home to their families because some idiot decides he gonna get into a firefight. Mm-hmm. And again, the only reason they was after him is because you violated your probation. You had just got out of jail. You drive to one part of town. You shoot up some guy's car and house. And so now the police are chasing you. You crash your car, and then you run, and then you try to run into a school where a bunch of kids at. So no, I have no sympathy for you.
Yeah,
because you could have put all of those kids, like, we don't know where his head was at. We don't know if he was going to try to take somebody hostage or anything like that.
Yeah. Now the thing with this whole Tyre Nichols situation, like, what do you think? Like, is it as far as, because I was kind of proud of the city because it wasn't like chaos. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, I remember just seeing on my timeline, a lot of people like, oh man, y'all better stay in the house tonight, because they thinking just because of what happened, them being indicted, that the city was about to turn up, get neighborhoods, crash, the stores and do stuff like that. So we didn't do that. But so what do you think this says about kind of the city as a whole? Like even my conspiracy theory, so to speak, because that's what I think it is. Because I don't know if you saw that they came out and made a joint statement, You know what I'm saying? Davis and Mayor Young. Solidarity, stick together, the whole, kind of whole nine thing, which I can say I just didn't have a good feeling about it, bro. I just think, you know what I'm saying, we kind of played our hand with that and just kind of push it off, let them handle it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that here.
No, I mean again, but like the thing is that the reason why stuff like that happens is that when the system fails, that's why people react the way that they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so again, like that is a situation, and hopefully, to your point, hopefully the Fed charges do stick. But again, it's like if somebody owes me $100 and like their brother come and give me 20, like that, okay, that's cool. But I still want y'all still got to come up with 80.
Yeah.
Don't say like, oh, okay, well look, we gave you 20 over here, or we gave you 80 over here. Okay, but you still owe me that 20. I still want my 20. And so the thing is that if you're getting hit with the city charges or the state charges or the Fed charges, if you're guilty, you need to get hit with all three of them. Because I guarantee you, if the situation was reversed,
oh yeah, definitely,
he would have. If Tyre Nichols would have beat a police officer to death, he would have gotten all three of them. Yeah. He wouldn't have got off on this level, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, it's cool. We gonna wait for the Fed charge." And then I promise you, a lot of times in a situation like that, the law enforcement get your name, so you in danger not just from the police, man. You got sheriffs looking for your ass. You got ATF, DEA, FBI, like all them looking for you too. Yeah. So now anybody connected with you, they gonna fuck with your life because you think you got off in a situation.
Well, that's another thing on the other side, because like you said, if it happened on the reverse side, he would have got all three of them charges just so it can send a message like you can't do this to the police, exactly. Right? And so when it comes down, when the way it actually happened in reality is like you don't want to send a message, or you kind of hesitant because of the uproar what it may send, the message kind of like to the city or whatever like that. So when it happens,
I think it would send one to not just the state and possibly, you know what I'm saying, even the tri-state, the surrounding areas, because they're saying like, okay, dang, like that we can do that, like this can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but it's got to start somewhere, and everybody like, okay, well, not me. Yep. Not me, and then 20 years pass and we still dealing with the same bullshit.
Yep.
Like somebody got to stand up and say, no more, we're not going to do this, and then eventually it'll be another state, another city, another state, and eventually, and it'll get to the point again, we're not against law enforcement, because if something happened right now, I'm calling the police.
Oh yeah, straight up.
But at the same time, just like I'm not trying to cause any problem for law enforcement, I'm trying to support them, I'm trying to give them the thing to be compliant. But at the same time, if I get pulled over, if I'm in a situation, I want to go home to my family. Like, I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, be in a situation where I got to be hospitalized, or people talking about, oh man, Rag was a good dude.
Mm-hmm. And I hate on the other side too, because I hate to put race in it. You know what I mean? But if there were 3 white officers, you know what I'm saying, in the city of Memphis, which is predominantly black, would this still would have happened like it did? I say no, not at all, just because of the race factor, where it's at, and and who it happened to. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way you letting 3 white cops off in Memphis and it be that obvious of what happened, and everybody be okay with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I just think it's a couple ways to look at it, and I just think it's unfortunate that the city of Memphis and the state kind of punted on this one for, I think, for some coward reasons. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Mm-hmm. All right. The other one here that we got is, let's talk about Diddy, man.
All right.
Let's get
on.
Not
to talk about.
No Diddy. The trial just started, I think, yesterday. Yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, the 12th.
Yeah. Okay, the 12th. Yeah. So it started yesterday, and a lot has been said. I got some pulled up here. I don't know what you got to say. Some. Well, just you got anything about the trial, but I got something I can read here. Some of the stuff that
man,
Cassie
it's
was
just
saying.
all types of stuff, man. Now, on the one hand, you are finding out that it's certain things that went down that she approved. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but it's just always something to me when you get caught doing something or when you put on the spot. It's always, oh, I didn't want to do it. I was uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah,
I didn't really want to do it. Yeah, we robbed this bank and I was spending this money and I was buying these Gucci shades and I was buying these J's and everything, but I really didn't want to. I just, me and JB, we was kicking it and I just didn't know and that's what it always is.
Yeah.
When you're put on the spot, everybody you can claim, what is it, plausible deniability. Like,
right.
oh, like that gets on my nerves.
Plus you're a woman too.
And so you're expecting the sympathy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But one of the questions I asked, okay, when he moved out to LA, you moved with him? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I went out there too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, when he was like, so again, but obviously when you got ready to leave for real, you left.
Yeah.
So you could have been left. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. Like, I hate when people we claim Stockholm syndrome when we go through the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, I thought he could change and I thought she was going to change. I thought they were going to, like, nah, man, you wanted to do it when you was doing it. And then when it wasn't fun no more, now all of a sudden it's all the other person. It was never you. Take some accountability for your own bullshit. Own it. Just like you own that pee that you was drinking and everything else that was going on. Because, like, I mean, they was doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to read a couple things here that was some of the, I guess, some minutes of the case. Let's see, can I put that there? It said, several civil sexual assault lawsuits against Sean Combs mentioned the same drugs Cassie Ventura has testified about using during the freak-offs. And let me see. And it's another one that said the court is taking quick read. What am I looking at? Okay. So Cassie says she would often get sick and vomit after drugs, especially MDMA and ecstasy. If she got sick in the middle of a freak off, she says Sean Combs would push her to continue to have sex. And it goes on and on. And one of the things that stood out to me that I thought was crazy, maybe I'm paraphrasing it, when the freak off was happening and he was in the other room and somebody nutted on Cassie's face, she would take the nut, go into the next room and put it on Diddy. Diddy asked to put it on him. And they asked her, like, where did he tell you to put it? And he was like, his nipples. Like, it's some crazy stuff like that, like all throughout the statements and whenever she was on trial, that a lot of the stuff is coming. We already knew about the baby oil. We already knew about the cameras and all this other stuff. And like I said before, even on this, being a freak is not illegal, right? Being like what they saying Diddy was about is not illegal. Like there's a whole other realm. I thought I mentioned before, just like when you have that much fame, that much power, and you actually look you look solid, like you, what the ladies call handsome. It's like it's so many women that you can have because you've had all the women, you've had all the big booties, you've had the titties, you done had all this stuff. And so, not saying I agree or condone, but
I'm just still tripping off the nut on the nipples.
The nut on the nipples. You know what I'm saying? So you can have everything, and so now you just trying to one up yourself. What's next? I already had all the women. Okay, what these dudes doing? You know what I mean? And so all this stuff is going to turn back. And then you mentioned, I think you sent me talking about Michael B. Jordan was mentioned in this whole case, right? So what was that about with Michael B. Jordan? What was he named in it?
Apparently, at some point, they were somewhere, and he and Cassie, I don't think they hooked up, but they were kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Like they were fellowshipping, maybe had a drink together, sat down, was chopping it up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he got some threatening phone calls. And so he reached out to her and he was like, "Hey, you need to, you need to get your boy.
Get off my girl."
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
well, no, what I'm saying is after Michael B received the phone calls, he called Cassie back. And was like, "Hey, you need to get your boy. Like, this ain't that. Like, you need to holler at him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what y'all got going, but you need to check that because, this ain't that." And then, he ended up leaving her alone.
I bet he did. Michael B, like I get it, but we know Diddy got ties and he did some things. You know what I'm saying, that we know, and some that we don't officially know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Michael B. Jordan wanna bark up that tree. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that. So I think he did the smart thing to kind of fall back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because we know some things Diddy done did.
Yeah.
Off record and on the record. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is like as it goes on. I just think now. To be honest, with the stuff that's coming out, because again, like some of the escorts have talked about some of the stuff that Cassie requested in it, so it's not really looking good, on her either. No. I don't even think.
I don't care about her though.
I just really think this is humiliation.
Oh yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. Regardless, like he may not be a billionaire, but he's still gonna be a multimillionaire when this is over with. But he's going to be thoroughly embarrassed. He probably gonna have to lay low for a few years. You know what I'm saying. And by a few years, I mean like at least 5.
It's over.
But the brand, his name being a brand, like that's over with. Not to say he can't be money behind, certain things. Like he might could still be, money behind stuff. But like him being the focal point and the face and the out front, like them days is probably over with.
He gonna make money behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like no, he ain't gonna. Yeah, he gonna. When you're making money like that, like you don't never lose the ability to stop making money or to know how to make the money. But his career will never be the same. His family has been thoroughly embarrassed. And see, like this is the type of stuff I be talking about when you go beyond. I'm not even gonna say what's acceptable or the norm, but like the more out there you are, and you got to be aware that when it comes out there. Your family got to live with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter, like they said, his daughters walked out the courtroom when they said like, "Oh well, Diddy was watching Cassie get banged and he's sitting over in the corner jacking off while he's watching her get." You know what I'm saying? Like this.
So you think he gonna get off?
He did get off. No. You
think he gonna not get any time or nothing like that?
I don't think he's gonna. I think that it got to a point where it's like, okay. Now we're just going to embarrass you. Yeah. I mean, like think about it. Like even like go back to, OJ. Like, and again, as far as like that trial went, and a lot of people disregard this, but like, they flat-foot ass homeboy, did he plant the evidence? Mm-hmm. And all he had to do was say no. He said, "I plead the 5th." That's a yes or no question. Now, if they ask you, have you ever said something racist, you plead the 5th of that. If they ask you, do you like black people, you plead the 5th of that. Yeah. Did you plant this glove? Did you tamper with the evidence? I plead the 5th. At that point, like, it don't matter because, again, the deal is reasonable doubt. And so it's the same thing with Diddy. Reasonable doubt. Yeah. OJ would have been okay if he would have just stayed low. Yeah. OJ decided he gonna get a 38 and some goons and go get the nigga stuff, get his stuff back from the guy who stole it from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and and then the time he got it wasn't even about because it didn't even fit what he did. That was about like, oh, well now we get to pay you back for what we felt like you should have got back then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so now again, Diddy can get off from this. He just gonna have to lay low afterwards. Ain't no more going to UCLA and getting into it with the coaches in the locker room, and I'm Diddy. Like, ain't no more of that. Ain't no more blowing up. Who car he tried to blow up? Tyler, the Creator, or Chance, or whoever it was. I don't remember. One of them rapping niggas, like, he tried to blow that car up or whatever, and that car actually blew up. Yeah. Like, ain't no more of that. You know what I'm saying? Lay low. Don't say shit. Stay out the limelight. You know, invest your money. Get into real estate. Make your money on the low. And you'll be all right.
it sound good, but pride is a hellacious drug. You know what I'm saying? For when you get into stuff like this, like even with OJ or with Diddy, they're going to embarrass him, but I'm not sure he going to get off. You know what I'm saying? As far as, I think he is going to get some probably jail time. Like I said, but even if, to your point, like OJ was a prisoner in society. He couldn't get sponsors. He couldn't go anywhere like he used to going. People, his friends, you know what I'm saying, negated him. You know what I mean? So if he does get off, it would be something like that. Diddy, all the little industry friends, they don't want to be seen in public with him anymore or something like that. Right. You know, which could be even more torture, really, for somebody like him than being in prison.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know, man. But I ain't gonna lie, it's entertainment, man. When you read the stuff that's going on in the trial and some of the stuff, actually it's kind of funny. Like the whole nipple thing. It's
that's crazy.
You want to do nut on your body, like just. You know, you got to be going on them drugs.
I don't even like my own that much.
No, at all. Like that.
I'm instantly trying to
wipe off.
You know what I'm saying? Like the worst thing ever. Like, you know, like if you have on condom or whatever, you take it off and it spill on you. Like you're like like it's just like you know, like I don't want my own on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it on nothing. Like I don't want it like the worst thing. Like if it spill on your clothes, on your socks, you be mad as hell. Like if you ever stepped in it, you be mad. Like it's just
when it's on the bed.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's no.
Nah, that's a whole nother thing, man. Next here, the GOAT, MJ. I don't know if you saw, he's going to be a special contributor on NBA on NBC coming back in the 25-26 season, and they didn't specify exactly. He's not going to be commentating games, but a special contributor can be a variety of things. You know what I'm saying? It can be in studio, in game, on the sidelines, at his house. You know what I mean? Saying a few things here and there. I thought that was good, just because I thought it was very surprising to me, because MJ don't get out like that.
No. He's very, very reclusive. Very
to himself. Like he did The Last Dance and then went back into hiding for another 3-4 years. It's coming out now. So I like it. I don't know if you've seen the lineup. That's NBA, NBC. Mike Tirico going to be commentating. The other cat, you're going to have Carmelo Anthony in the studio. Jamal Crawford and Reggie Miller are going to be commentating, I believe. You know what I mean? So I'm liking it. I'm really liking it, man. But I wonder which MJ we going to get. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get the MJ that is very, articulate.
Take
and
it
just,
personal.
You know what I'm saying? Are we going to get the one that's being like, no, man, this dude trash right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he ain't going to say that. I ain't never heard him say it publicly, at least, right? And so I'm fooling with it, man. We really could say that for a quickie, but I really wanted to talk about that because we're not used to MJ, because he actually made a statement, and he came out, he said a lot of his career was built on NBA, on NBC with Marv Albert and all that stuff. And so he's excited to bring it back and to continue to build a legacy onto that brand. So this is new, because we're not like, but can you think about the ratings though? Even if MJ,
yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is good. I mean, like, but it's just,
I like it. I'm digging.
I mean, that's not gonna make me watch the game anymore or any less. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
No, I mean, again, like I said, he's like, what? It's just who it is. Like, what is he gonna say that like a Charles Barkley, hadn't said, or like a Deion Sanders hadn't said? You know what I'm saying? So like, I got Deion, I got Shannon Sharp. Like, I really don't care if Jerry Rice on there, and Jerry Rice is my favorite player of all time. Like, that's my GOAT. But like, if Jerry after 20-some years decides, like, you know what, I think I'm gonna do like Deion and Shannon Sharp and these people, I think, like, okay. Like, I mean, I might catch it a couple times, but like, it's not like, at this point, it's not like how like when Brady first retired and it's like, oh dang, like that man, he's really good. Like, man, when he retired a couple of times and rode off into the sunset, and he been chilling, living his best life. And so now again, and nobody loves Jordan more than me except for maybe Mo Kicks and Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying?
I'm up there. I ain't getting the what.
I mean, and that's.
I'm up
but
there.
But at the same time, I'm just really objective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still like. He has made me a Bulls fan for life.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that was Bulls fans when he played. No, you were a Jordan fan. Like Jordan made me a Bulls fan.
Yeah. That was me.
And
I was
that's
an
why
MJ fan.
And that's why
MJ.
I still, you see me, I have on either 49ers, Atlanta Braves, or Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we talk Grizzly basketball a lot, but I am still a Bulls fan because of the great Michael Jordan. For the most part now, even when I come over here, I always have on a pair of Jordans. Mm-hmm. Because of MJ. Yeah. He's still the GOAT to me.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
And so
no question.
So, but at the same time, I'm not one like Michael Jordan take a shit and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that fragrance? You know, like no, like he took a shit just like anybody else take a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not impressed just because you're Jordan and everything you do. Oh, Michael Jordan got a steak restaurant. If the steak is trash, I'm gonna say, man, Jordan the GOAT, but that steak was some shit.
But it's the mystique for me though. Because like I don't even care like what he's saying. The fact of the matter that we don't get to hear him ever. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't come out and make too many statements. He don't come out and really say hardly anything. We see him, you know, people taking the candid camera when they did that 75 greatest and him joking behind the scenes with D Wade and J Kidd and stuff back there. Like, and so I just think it's like I'm interested to see what he will say and what, you know what I'm saying, department or position they're gonna put him in to say it. You know what I mean? Like I would be intrigued. Like if they saying Michael Jordan is gonna be the special contributor for this particular game, and I'm not really interested in watching that particular game, but since MJ gonna be saying a little something, I would tune in just to kind of see.
It's like I look at it like, and I'm a big wrestling fan, so like somebody like me, like you watch that, and to me that was the difference between like a Ric Flair and a Bret Hart. Arguably, if you watch wrestling, like watching Bret Hart in the ring, like Bret Hart could make somebody who didn't know how to wrestle a lick look like they was the most amazing person, and that was truly what made him great. Not so much his stuff, but so like in a sense he was like a GOAT in that area. But what separated him from like a Ric Flair or a Stone Cold or like you could put the microphone in their hands and like they didn't have to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like Ric Flair could have you on the edge of your seat with just him doing an interview, just like he could tell a story in the ring too. And so like going back to The Last Dance, and I've watched it probably about 4 or 5 times. Yeah. But if you take all the highlight clips, you take all the game footage, you take all the stuff where you see him, you know, doing stuff, and it's just the person interviewing him, it's not as compelling. Yeah. Like you got some guys, like for example, we talked about this, Michael Irvin can have you on the edge of your seat with him telling the story. Prime is another one. Shannon Sharp is another one. Stephen A. Smith can have you on the edge of your seat like telling a story. Then you got other guys that was great in terms of playing. And like when they talking, like you get up and go to the restroom like you're not paying no attention. You know what I'm saying? You got like Dan Orlovsky wasn't very good in NFL. He's great on the microphone.
Definitely.
And so like my thing is, you know, again, I think it'll wear off because you're going to have the diehard Jordan, like again, Jordan Farson is like, oh my God, what is that fragrance? They're going to be caught up because it's MJ. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm not saying that he's not going to be good. I'm just saying from somebody who watched MJ from the time I was 4 years old to the time he retired. So I saw the interview with, you know, Amar Rashad and Marv Albert and Bob Costa, one interview where just like I am, he had the shades on before the game. And they say he had the shades on because he was up all night and his eyes was, you know, red. He had been partying and everything like that. Yeah. But it wasn't like when I'm watching this interview, I'm like, man, that man got me on the, it's MJ. But if you don't say it's MJ and you just listen to what's being said, you're not compelled to caught up. You're caught up in the name, the ambiance of the name, not so much in what's being said. Whereas with some people, it's the name and, you know what I'm saying? Like when they're talking, it's like, you know, it's credible.
Now, I do wonder if he's going to pull us back into 2025 because the cat is out the bag. Everybody know MJ talk like a nigga. Like it's been too many stories, podcasts, people have audio. You know what I'm saying? So that mystique, that part of him is not like it was back in the 90s when we growing up, where we saw him being impeccable with the suit and talking like he does. He's like, MJ, we know the real you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I wonder if he's going to bring any of that out. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Obviously, it's going to be on national TV, so he ain't going to, you know what I'm saying, get wild or nothing like that.
Right.
But as far as opening up a little bit more, the first few times, I think I'm going to be a fanboy. I don't care what he says right now. As we keep going, it's like, okay, bro, you're not really good, you know what I'm saying, at this. And so I can be objective at that point. But I think the first few times, I don't care what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, I'm going to listen to kind of see what's going on. Now, as time keep wearing on, you know, I'll be like, yeah, like Chris Webber, like he was a TNT analyst, commentator for a while. And he wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Weber, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but I liked hearing him because it was a different voice. But then after that fourth or fifth time, you know, I'm just like, yeah, I think I could do without C-Web. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm excited about MJ, man. It's just to see what that's going to bring. Because like I said, the first 2 or 3 times he got something to say, I'm going to be fanning out just to kind of hear what's going on. And the thing about this, every NBA player going to be the same way, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that really respect him, they don't know what he going to say. So it's just, I think a lot of people going to really take into consideration what he has to say. And you know, I think it's going to be real interesting. This next one here, your girl Joy Taylor. She was on, I think she was on Paul P podcast. Because Paul P was on there, Pleasure P. And they was having a conversation about a lot of stuff, about her dating and doing all this stuff. She said being a man of God is a red flag in dating when she dates men, right? And so now the context about that, she was just saying like when somebody leans into that, when they meet her and try to put their religion in the forefront, that's a red flag for her. What you think about that, Rag?
Man, that broad goofy. And I'm gonna say that because it's like, man, it's just all of these damn like, oh, okay, well, if you don't have any women friends, then that's a red flag for me. Yes, but then you don't want a guy like, but if the guy was undercover gay, like that's a red flag too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the reality of it. I mean, we would look at each other if you had a baddie that was always around and you just like, oh, that's my homegirl. We're going to always side-eye each other and be like, all right, you done tried it. Like the only reason that's your friend is because she friend-zoned you.
To me, the only reason she say that is because she got a lot of guy friends and she's did a lot of stuff with her guy friends.
Or you don't want nobody the reality of it is like what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like these people are only my friends because they want to fuck me.
Yeah. Because Emmanuel Acho, you know, was one of the guy friends that was, you know, part of that lawsuit. And I think everybody knew that. I think even I follow his podcast, Marcellus Wiley. That dude, he be having his joint, and he put out there like he been knowing him and Joy was doing their thing a long time ago, even before he was made public. So that ain't even the thing. But I thought about that when Joy said that. It was just it just paints more of a picture of what everybody say that she is, which is no crime. You Lucy to do it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. You know what I mean? But it also points to the fact of, you know what I'm saying, you want no boundaries when it comes to necessarily dating or anything of that nature. You know what I mean? All right, I want to give an update of Sheduer Sanders. Sheduer Sanders, they had rookie mini camp this past week. Him and Dylan Gabriel, the third round pick that they pick up. You know, so he kind of been doing this thing, and so I want to give a shout out to Sheduer just because he has been changing his tune some, you know. And one of the things you've always mentioned about Coach Prime, which I'm a habitual defender of Coach Prime, but what I will say is, even his son kind of got it. Like, I like the confidence, I like the bravado, I like the swag and stuff like that. But you quick to say when you right. You quick to, you know what I'm saying, say that, you know what I'm saying, swag is my confidence, da 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 da. But then when you clearly misread your hand and did something like this, you don't say nothing. You just move. You just continue to move forward and don't really mention or say anything. But to their credit, I think Sheduer is kind of leaning into the humility and I'm coming to work and doing this and doing that, which that was not what he was doing in the pre-draft and all this other stuff. So without saying anything, he's showing with his actions that you know what I'm saying. They didn't make the best moves when it coming toward with the draft.
No, I mean I don't even think it's that, but I mean a wise person. If I am a millionaire and you meet somebody like, man, look, I ain't impressed by somebody who's throwing money around, da da da. It don't change you being a millionaire. You just don't lead with your money. You just don't hang out trying to show off how much stuff you can buy and what you can do.
Yeah.
To the same token, if I'm a confident person and I'm confident in myself and my work ethic and my DNA and my lineage and my talent and where I see myself, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But if I see when I first walk in the door that turns people off, a wise man will say, I'll turn it off till it's time to turn it on. Because I'm not going to lie. One thing that makes quarterback is the most valuable position, in any sport.
It is.
So, like, basketball, like, we've had periods of time where the most dominant position was center. Then we had a period of time where it's like the guards. Then you had a period of time where it's like the wingmen, the swingmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it can change up and it can vary by team. You know what I'm saying? Baseball, sometimes it could be a pitcher. Sometimes it could be, you got guys like Babe Ruth, you know what I'm saying? And Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. Like, sometimes that's the most valuable position. But in football, hands down, I don't care how good you are defensively. I don't care how good you can catch. I don't care how good you can tackle. The most valuable position is quarterback.
Yep.
And so you want to follow somebody. Like, think about this. We watched that movie, Remember the Titans. The best thrower of the football that they had was Sunshine. But who was the one that they was following? Until he got hurt, Rev was the starter. But you got to remember, Rev had the personality. He had the charisma. Like, even the white guys on the team, like, when he talked, everybody was listening. They believed him.
Yeah.
Now, Sunshine had the talent. But Sunshine was kind of aloof. He was kind of to himself. He was kind of in his shell for a minute. So everybody was still following. And he almost had to, like, you know what I'm saying, give him like, hey, okay, we putting it in your hands, son. Let's go lead us to victory or whatever. You want to follow a guy like a Sheduer Sanders. You want to follow a guy like not in apparently business, but in terms of quarterbacks. So if you want to follow Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying? You want to follow a Tom Brady. Like, when you hear him talking in the huddle, you want to follow a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? As goofy as it is, as he is, it's no wonder why people follow Jameis Winston. He has the charisma. He has that. Now, like I said, he's silly, but he has that leadership quality, that confidence.
Yeah.
So now some of these dudes, I'm like, man, you strictly made it based off how far you could throw and everything, because you have no personality, you have no charisma. Like, I wouldn't follow you down the hallway in your house. Like, I'm straight. But apparently, the way that he came off, it was a turnoff. It was a repellent to people. And so wisdom says, when you have other people who played the game, when you have other analysts who've talked to people behind the scenes and they said, this was a deterrent, this was a turnoff, wise man says, I'm going to come in here because guess what? The work ethic he's showing, that didn't just happen in Cleveland. He been had that.
Yeah.
He had that at Colorado. He had that at Jackson State. Yeah. He had that as a 5-star recruit out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody ever said he was arrogant prior to now. He just started the stuff that's been put in him that he probably internally believed. He just started more outwardly expressing that as now the social media age has increased, the spotlight is on you, and he's somebody who doesn't run from the pressure.
Now, question. Now, with all this, if the teams were not feeling him to the degree that we obviously know now, and his dad being, we know who he is, having the connections he knows he has in the league, coaches, scouts, executives, all this stuff. Why didn't Coach Prime have any of this intel, right? To, you know what I'm saying, let his son know, like, no, like either you need to participate more in this process or don't lean into this stuff, right? And so my thing is, I know he got those connections, right? But then it's like, also, was he being lied to as far, because nobody wants to, if you say something negative to Coach Prime or any of his crew or Sheduer, they probably gonna call you a hater. My insecurities, what they say, affect your confidence, my confidence,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, affect, bring out your insecurities and stuff like that. And so it's like, now you have people around you that's afraid to tell you what's really going on, because they don't want you to feel, you know what I'm saying, a certain way about it. And then you thinking I'm a hater, which I'm just, trying to be open and honest with you.
I think that sometimes we can still try to live vicariously through our children. And what I mean by that is like, okay, again, in college, Dion had all the crazy tape. Him running his 40 said everything that needed to be said. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
He didn't need to do that.
That was it. Like, but again, he had crazy tape. Like, he had been winning his whole time while he was in college. Like, he had guarded the best receivers. Like, because I remember him and Andre Rison, I want to say, played each other 2 or 3 times. In college when Florida State played Michigan State.
You've never seen nobody like Prime.
Right.
You've never seen nobody like that.
You got it to where, like, when you're playing versus the best guys that are in college and you're holding it, like your team is beating their team and you're making it hard for their receivers. So you got crazy tape. And then he got crazy tape as a returner. He got crazy tape as a corner. He got crazy tape, you know what I'm saying? Even times where they put him on offense and he's running certain.
Like that, yeah.
So he's got, like, in a sense, he was almost like Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter. Like, so you got crazy tape all across the board. Now, Sheduer is playing in a position where, again, even in college, that's the only position that matters.
Yeah.
And I mean, realistically, the only time it hasn't mattered in college like that in the last 30 years is maybe you could say Reggie Bush. You might could say Charles Woodson. But outside of that, it's always the quarterback. It's always the quarterback. So, and then they'll say a draft ain't good when it ain't no good quarterbacks coming out. Oh, it was a weak draft. I mean, you could have some great linemen, some great linebackers, some great receivers. Yeah. But if it ain't no good quarterback, they're gonna say it was a weak draft because the quarterback. So you're in the spotlight position. And to your point, I'm not gonna say that people was lying to him, but it's like, okay, you don't have you're putting your stuff on him, but he don't have the tape that you had. He don't
ain't got
pop
the wins
out.
like
you know
that.
what I'm saying? Don't have the wins that you had.
Don't have the wins.
Now again, he
great
had
college
a
player,
very great college career.
Yeah, for sure.
He had very great numbers, but again, you see guys like, it's crazy, but if you look at like a guy like Gardner Minshew, him and Sheduer had basically the same numbers. Gardner Minshew's last year, Sheduer last year, they had the same numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I know, a later round pick. You know what I'm saying? And he was a 4-year starter. Like he got all the records at his school, but it's like, the same thing. But the only difference is, his dad is Prime. You know what I'm saying? Your brother does the social media stuff, so you got access. And then now, NIL is going on now. It really was kind of starting to come in when Gardner Minshew was coming out, but like you basically been in NIL the whole time you've been in college. So not only do you got your family money, you got money you made from your own brand. So you got a little bit more swagger. You got a little bit more, about you. But again, if we're being realistic, and again, like, two things can be true. Yes, it sucks that Archie Manning was able to do that for Peyton and Eli. It sucks that John Elway daddy was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, when you get a Dion or you get a LeVar Ball, now it's a problem. To quote the great finesse 2 times, it's cool when they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now Now, I don't like to quote Nick Wright too much because actually I like Nick Wright except when he talk about LeBron. You know, he kind of get a little iffy with the Kansas City Chiefs too.
You got to man love Nick Wright, man.
Huh? I think Nick be tripping. He be tripping on LeBron. His other takes, I'll be like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Now he made a good point, but he was like, most people in show business or whatever industry you in, either you're a money horse, a show horse, or a work horse, and so you got to figure out which one you are as a football player, as a working at the bank, being a postal worker or whatever. What are you? Are you, you know what I'm saying? Are you the money horse? You know what I'm saying? Are you the show? Like everybody come to see you, rah, rah, rah. You got the big name put on the billboard. Or you just got to be the one to go in there and work. And so he made the point that's like, Sheduer, he has all the access and resources from his brother's social media page to his dad, who is a force field in itself. And he had a really good college career. And so now he thought he was more so a show horse or a morning horse. That was his daddy. His daddy was that. But they really wanted to see him as a workhorse. And so he never. I think now he gets now, which I gave him credit. I think now he's getting the credit because now he's seeing like they don't want to see like even if in interview he got a little small dog chain on like this. He ain't got the big flashy legendary joint on no more. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that you see him opening up to being like without him coming out and saying anything, being like, okay, I get it. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that, but. Right, tell us about this Kenyon Martin, man, exploding on Nick Young. I saw some of that.
I mean, like first of all, and again, I get it. I hate when people like, us Cali niggas ain't going. Okay, all right, y'all ain't got to go. Don't like if he run up on Kenyon Martin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he won't do that.
I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Swaggy P can't fight, but I don't recall him ever getting into any situations where. You know what I'm saying? And then people, it's the quiet ones you got to watch. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to need you to wake up first. That nigga look always like he half sleep, like he about to pass out, like he's on something.
He high.
Every time, that ain't what you want. Kenyon is not what you want. Yeah. Some people you just leave alone. The issue started, they were talking about Pop retiring.
Yep.
And so now, even when we're doing our thing, like sometimes you're looking up something while I'm talking. Like I see you get the phone or you're on the phone. Like, and I know what you do, but you're not like, to our guests or people the thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't taking the camera off me and you got it on you looking at, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that would be kind of just like, so you leave the camera on me and you find what you going to find or whatever. Same thing. Like, sometimes, like, we talking about trying to figure out what the chief of police now. I'm sitting up there looking, as we talk, like, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, you're like, let me add this point or whatever. Like, but I'm not making a big, hey, y'all, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're talking, so I'm listening to you. Kenyon is talking about Pop and his impact on the game, and he is definitely a legend. I want to say all-time leader in wins amongst coaches. He has the most wins amongst coaches. 5-time champion. I know he's been to the finals more times than that. Gold medal winner with Team USA. I mean, he's been on benches in college and things like that where they won national championships. He's a part of the Larry Brown coaching tree. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he might have been on that team when Larry Brown was coaching Kansas when Danny Manning won. Like you look at the number of Hall of Fame players that he's impacted, from a David Robinson to a Tim Duncan to Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. He's impacted Kawhi Leonard, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, and possibly if Wemby's on the trajectory, if he just all he got to do is stay healthy and keep doing what he's doing.
Definitely.
That's another one that he's impacted and come across. And again, you look at his coaching tree now in the NBA. Mike Budenholzer, who's won a championship. You got Ime Udoka, who helped build the champion Boston before they got rid of him, but he helped get that team to where they was at. Steve Kerr, who's a multiple-time champion. It's other guys I can't think of some of them, but like. Thibodeau, I think, might be a part of his coaching trip, but like he's got a lot of guys who've won championships who came up under him. Becky Hammond from the WNBA.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a legend of the game, and not just a legend of the game, but a legend in life.
Right.
He's been one who's been very outspoken to people who are less fortunate and people who have been oppressed. He's very outspoken when it comes to social justice and issues that don't even necessarily deal with his community, but he just talk about right and wrong. And he's been on the front lines of that. So this is somebody who's been impactful, not just in basketball, in life. And then you got guys like a Steven Jackson who say, man, this man saved my life. Mm-hmm. So he's been impactful on whatever level you want to deal with.
Yeah.
And so now you got Nick Young being goofy over there, not just on the phone, but then now you're trying to distract Gil. And then Kenyon was kind of talking. He's facing Gil. So it's like, okay, well, you on your phone, but now you trying to get. And then he's like, oh, you can look, Gil. You ain't got. You can look. And so now Kenyon checked him on it.
I thought Kenyon was a little sensitive on that. I saw it. Like I get it. I just think that it's been times to where they've been talking about other things and Nick doing the same thing. Him and Gil kind of over there, looking at something. They kind of going back and forth while they talking amongst themselves. But I think the other thing, I think Brandon Jenner was on the couch. He was, so like you said, he wasn't facing Brandon. So he really wasn't talking to Brandon. He was kind of facing Gil and them. So I did think Kenya was, being like a bully on that though. Even though I get it, you talking about Pop, that's kind of what it is. But I think he kind of felt, nobody was paying attention to him or something like that, and so he kind of had to stop to kind of check him. But he didn't want no part of Kenyon though. He wasn't about to get up.
I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that Kenyon wasn't being sensitive.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that Nick, number one, Nick don't ever like being corrected. It's just like when they was telling him, you like the same thing when they was like, look, if your son is playing in the game and you get out there and start hollering at the ref, it's like now you kind of embarrassing your son because you're making it about you.
Right.
Like, let your son play the game. And if it's a problem, you talk to the ref after the game, you pull him to the side. Like, but when you get up and you're doing that, now the crowd looking at you like you're making it about you. And Nick is just like, Nick is not, nah, man, I'm a dude. LeBron, man, that's LeBron's son. He's supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's supposed to. What's wrong with him saying his son better than everybody in the league? You supposed to do that. And everybody's like, dude, no, you're not supposed to. And if you do that, be prepared for the smoke when it comes. Right. No, I should be able to do that, and nobody should say anything. Like, and Nick, again, that's the weed talking or whatever he's smoking. Like, and so he never likes being checked or corrected. Yeah. And then, so now when somebody, it gets to the point like where now, because the correct thing to do is the first, because you could have diffused the whole thing. If it was something about Pop stats or something like that, even, man, my bad, I was showing him, his wins and everything, like, and that would have shut the whole thing down. Yeah. Or you could have been like, all right, my bad, it can wait, my fault. And you could have played it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, my bad, sensitive ass, I apologize. Yeah. And that would have been, Kenyon might have said, and that would have been the end of it. But now you're going to double down like, no, you can look. Yeah, man, okay, yeah, you talking about Pop and what?
Now, one thing I will say is that I do, now Nick do be popping off. He do be shooting off. But I do appreciate him actually standing up to Kenyon. Because honestly, most of the time on that, nobody really talk back to Kenyon. Like when Kenyon get in his mode, like, ain't nobody going to kind of press him or say nothing back to him, which I get because he's, who he was in Force and stuff like that. But I'm just like, you still the man.
He's the oldest one on there.
Yeah, he the oldest one on there.
Because like when you think like Brandon Jennings came out in like 08, 09, something like that.
Yeah.
Nick Young was like 06, 07.
Yeah.
Gil's the only one that was like right. Gil was right behind Kenyon. Because Kenyon came out in 2000, Gil came out in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was the same. Kwame Brown was number 1 overall pick, and Gil was 31. You know what I'm saying? Like, but them two are the oldest. Mm-hmm. And then all of them came out young. Like, Kenyon actually played 4 years in college and came out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the rest of them was like one or 2 years and they was out. Mm-hmm. So, like, except like Rashad played 3 years. But again, Rashad was like 05, 06, something like that. Mm-hmm. So he's the resident old head, so to speak.
Yeah,
on there. I mean, I get the enforcer part, but I will also say too, though, to me, he has the most grounded stuff on there. Cause like when he played, he when he came in. He came in where he caught like the last wave of that 80s, 90s. So he caught the physicality of the game. And then he played long enough to where the game started to change and get more finesse. A lot of these guys, when they came in, the game would start like they didn't get a lot of the physicality and everything like that.
Yeah, most of them didn't.
You see what I'm saying? So so now when he's talking, a lot of times he don't get pushback because he's more objective than a lot of them. So like when he started talking about some of the guys and they be like, oh, this person couldn't play in this era, like no, Kenyon got to play versus some of them. And he could say like, no, y'all got this era fucked up. Like, no, this person could play. No, this person wouldn't be able to because he would have came across and got. And they don't say nothing because it's like, okay, we're speaking from our feelings. He's speaking from actually being in both eras. So now, granted, part of it is the bully, the old head thing. But then part of it, too, is it's like, okay, we know he's not being emotional. Like, he's being emotional when he talking about, George Karl. He gonna be emotional when he talking about George Karl. He gonna be emotional when he talking about fighting somebody.
Yeah.
But like when he talking about the game, it's not it's more of a grounded thing, I think.
But they do it like Gil will argue with anybody really except Kenyon on there. Like, he'll just disagree with you just to be disagreeing with you. Kenyon say something and then Gil just be like, oh yeah, well, then let Rashad say something. Oh no, they don't get off in the face like that. So I get it, but I see he's the elder statesman. But I do see them kind of quivering
outside
a
of
little
Kenyon,
bit.
Gil had a better career than everybody on there.
Yeah,
I mean the only person who Gil made more All-Star games than Kenyon, but as far as having a consistent, solid career, Kenyon had that.
Oh yeah,
what I'm saying? Like Brandon Jennings had a good year and a half, maybe
2-3 years. Yeah, about 2-3 years.
His rookie year, and then he had like a year in Detroit that he was good, but like for the most part, he was always hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like Rashad McCants had like a good year. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, and then once he got hurt, it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick Young. He was always a role player.
He got a championship.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But it was never, he never lived up to what his potential was.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, but again, Kenyon, #1 pick, All-Star, solid defender, played in 2 finals, played in a Western Conference final, played in a couple Eastern Conference finals. Like, he had a solid career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, again, I think Gil speaks, he trolls a lot, and a lot of people don't want to admit this, but
he do.
When you look overall, Gil speaks with the authority. We talk about Gil being a crash out and everything, but playing the same amount of years, and this is why he talked like he do, and we don't want to, he didn't have the impact, but when you put the numbers side by side, his career numbers better than Penny Hardaway. And he said like Penny Hardaway was one of the guys, like that was his favorite play, like that was who he wanted to be. Like he's like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Penny, but like we put their numbers side by side, he had a better career than Penny.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people did.
You know what I'm saying? Like now again, so he talks that way because it's like if I don't have that knee injury, if I have 2 more years where I was on my Agent Zero kick, he would have been in the Hall of Fame. Because, you got to look at it. He 3-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Star. Like one time he was a replacement, but 3 times where he actually made the team.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like Penny. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then a couple times Penny made it. He didn't even play the season, and he still made the All-Star team because he got voted in. Yeah. So it's like, I'm talking like I'm that dude because I know what my career was with my knees being fucked up. So he talks like that way, but to your point, he don't talk that way to Kenyon, #1, because he know Kenyon whip his ass. But then #2, that's the only other person that can sit up here and say, I played in the finals, you never made it out you never made it out the second round. Yeah. I made it to some Eastern Conference, you never made it to an Eastern Conference finals.
Yeah.
And I was one of the, like on those New Jersey Nets team, he was the second best player on the team. So it wasn't like he was a Nick Young where I'm just on here, I come in and make a couple of threes. Like, no, I'm a defensive cog or I'm the leading rebounder. I'm the leading shot blocker. I'm the second leading scorer. Like, he was able to say that. A lot of those guys, okay, yeah, Brandon, you dropped 55 or whatever, but you didn't make it out the second round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think Brandon was ever an all-star. Like,
nah, it don't matter. But,
like
I said, truth is truth on that. Like, I ain't, worry about too much. Because that's why I don't like when people, you put your career, just because, like, you didn't have, like, I'm telling the truth. So, I don't care if I didn't play in the YMCA league. Like, if me and Michael Jordan got the same opinion and got the same thing, I'm just telling the truth. Don't bring up what I didn't do while you just played in this YMCA league. But I'm just like, am I lying? No, because you bring up a lot of times on the show. Get out your feelings. Is what that person's saying? Is it true? You know what I'm saying? We talk about women or something. It's like, you may not like the way I said it, but what I said, is it real? Is it true? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm looking at it like from on a Gills arena, just like, it don't matter, what you did in your career or not. It's like, well, is what I'm saying valid? Is what I'm saying at least have, some type of reasonable doubt into it? And I just see them not really. Now, Rashad, he'll press on him a little bit. I give Rashad that. Rashad do everybody like that.
Yeah, Rashad ain't no hope. Like, the only time Rashad backed down was when Stephen A was on there.
Yeah, he did. I was kind of disappointed with that.
But Rashad playing the long game. Rashad trying to get on first take.
Yeah, that's real, though. I ain't mad at him, though. I ain't mad at him.
Cemetery Larry trying to get on first take.
I ain't mad at him. All right, let's get these quickies, dog. Well, this could be part of the quickies, too. George Pickens, man. George Pickens going to the Cowboys.
I mean, that's good for y'all.
You know what I'm saying? The going from the Steelers, I think they got a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick. I like it, man. I heard a lot of people talking about his behavior in Pittsburgh, which is true, but he's in a contract year. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have to ball out. He's gonna be out the league. We needed a number 2. We kind of got a 1B because he's not really a number 2. He's kind of like he can be that dude. You know what I'm saying? So I like the trade for us. So I'm a smash on that. What you say, Rag? You like it?
Oh, I mean, again, like that's good for y'all. Like I'm objective. You know what I'm saying? Like, so regardless of me hating the Cowboys, was that a good pickup for y'all? Hell yeah. Does that make y'all more dangerous? Hell yeah. Now, as long as Jared stay out the way, like, it'll be very great for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, you gotta let the coach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like hopefully, they replace the O-line and everything like that. Y'all still gonna need a run game.
I like what we did in the draft for the run game, though.
So I mean, like I said, but again, that O-line got to get, so O-line, running back, like y'all got to have a balanced attack. But again, that's always a good pick for you all. Now, this one wasn't in there. I actually made a post about this. Randy Moss was recently being interviewed, and he said that he thought that he was the GOAT wide receiver.
Randy Moss.
Yes. And he put himself like him, and then maybe T.O. And I vehemently disagree with him 100%.
He said he was better than Randy?
He said he was better. Yeah, he said he was number 1.
He should think that.
No, he should.
He should think
it. He should not.
For himself.
He should not.
He should. I get it.
Anybody.
But is it honest, though?
Anybody who played in the era that Jordan played should be like, I think that I'm the second best player that played the game. Because if I played versus this man and he handed me my draws, ain't no way. When he came in the league, Rice still played in the league for about 5 more years. Mm-hmm. So you actually got to see this man. The point that I was making is, for his entire career, Jerry Rice was only targeted 719 times. So that was not just Joe Montana and Steve Young. That means he did what he did. And keep in mind, he also had Rich Gannon. He made Rich Gannon a Pro Bowler. That wasn't Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon had played on like 7 other teams. That was freaking Jerry Rice and Tim Brown.
Yeah.
So that means he took the ball and he did what he did with it. If we being honest, Larry Fitzgerald he's only behind Jerry Rice. He's ahead of Randy Moss and T.O. But what I'm saying is, when you look at their targets, they both was almost targeted 2,000 times.
Yeah.
So now you got almost 10,000 yards less than this man, and you're going to say the numbers don't matter. But you got thrown the ball 2 times more than he did. Because if you do 719 times 2, that's only 1,400 something.
Yeah.
So you still got 2,000 more targets. 200 more targets than this man, and you still got 10,000 less yards.
Now, I have no problem with him saying it, just like I don't have a problem with LeBron saying he's a GOAT. He's just obviously wrong. You know what I'm saying? But being the type of athlete that LeBron is and Randy is like, you probably should feel that way, even though we know this is not true.
Well, for the points thing, like, again, going with LeBron, okay, the points thing. You played 8 years more than this man.
Mm-hmm.
And you only got a season's worth more points than he got, essentially.
Yeah.
And realistically, if Joe and again we say, oh, he played 15 seasons. Okay, when we say 15, we're also including that season where he only played 17 games because he couldn't play because he broke his foot. So we're throwing it in there like that was a whole season, and that was only 17 games.
Yeah.
So really, he only played. Technically, he only played 14 and a half. So like if we doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we include a season where he only played 17 games, and we throw that in there like, oh, he played this season. You played a legit 22 years, and you only got 3,000 more points.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So essentially, at the clip Jordan was going, because you saw what he did his rookie year, that second, and then you saw what he did the next year when he came back the third year when he had, recovered from the foot injury. So the clip he was going, if he plays that whole season, you still chasing him.
Oh yeah, easy. Like I said, if Mike wanted to, he
that season where he got hurt with Washington.
Yeah.
And he had to end every time because he hurt his knee. Like, again, if he don't get hurt that season, you're still chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that, to that point, you can say like, oh, I got this number, but again, you only got it because you played 22 years. Right. Like I said, again, people talk about Rice, but essentially, he played 20 years, but then you got to think about that. He didn't even get 100 targets a year.
Yeah.
If he would have got 100 targets a year, that means he would have got 2,000 targets. Could you imagine what his numbers would be like if he would have got 2,000 targets?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like again, you got that, and I get what you're saying. I think that he's the most gifted person in terms of the natural gifts. But going back to what you said, workhorse. Jerry Rice came in and he saw that I got to be the workhorse, and he outworked everybody.
It ended up being a show too.
And that's to the point. The work made him to be the show horse
and the money. He was all three of them. He ended up being all three of them. Now, since I kind of skipped over this with the NBA playoffs, this kind of was even for the quickies. Real quick, the Pacers just won tonight, so they won their series. They're officially in Eastern Conference Finals. They beat the Cavs 4-1. And honestly, bro, like I never thought the Pacers would be like a contender for the championship, but the way they've been playing and the way this series going now with the Nuggets and like. There is a scenario where I can see the Pacers winning the chip. Because let's say they play the Knicks the next round in the Eastern Conference. I think they can beat the Knicks. Let's say I don't think they would beat one of these two teams, OKC or Denver, or maybe even in Minnesota. But I think they can at least get to the NBA Finals, the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So Knicks and Celtics. Knicks up 3-1. They play tomorrow night. Knicks win there in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's going to be interesting. Jason Tatum had a crazy injury last night. He ruptured his Achilles. He just
done for the playoffs.
He's done for the playoffs. Probably done for the next 12 months. He just had surgery this morning, I think, on that. And Golden State in Minnesota, I think that's over with. They up 3-1. Steph still out. You know what I mean? And so this is what I got. I'm going to say real quick. I got right now Pacers, Nuggets in the finals. What you say you read?
Oh, okay. Well, no, I mean you got they playing right now. As of this, by the replay, this game will be over.
It's tied up now.
So yeah, Denver and OKC are playing. No, it's not. OKC on 3.
Hit. Okay.
So I mean, but still, this game, this is looking like it's definitely going to
7.
a game 6 for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure 6. It's gonna go 7. I think it's gonna go 7.
You know what I'm saying? And to your point, it might go 7.
Yeah.
So again, I think that either Denver and OKC both can be dangerous. I don't know. Is this Ant's ascension?
I mean, you had Minnesota.
Yeah, like I said,
because Minnesota's still in there though.
Right. Is this, and again, they're one game away from
Western Conference,
because and this will be their second year being in the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
And so for them, it's not like they got to get past a Detroit like when Jordan did, or they got to get past about like. So the team that they played last year in the Western Conference Finals ain't even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? They might be able to jump over the hurdle. You know what I'm saying? We know the Rig BA. They're trying to get a new face, and Ant might be the face. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
The only reason I think Minnesota can beat the Nuggets. I don't think they can beat OKC. So if the Nuggets win this series and they end up playing Minnesota, I think Minnesota can beat them to go to the finals. I don't think they can beat OKC, just personally. But they're gonna have their shot. But it's gonna be interesting. All right, another quickie here, real quick. I haven't said anything political in a few weeks, y'all, and I probably will later. But this real quick, Trump actually agrees to pause and reduce the tariffs with China for 90 days to continue negotiations. Why was this important? Because if anybody's in the stock market, things leveled up. You know what I'm saying? Your 401k, you're doing all that, the stuff done leveled up. So I think this is intriguing. This is a good thing to look at and to keep updated. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this more. You had something. You had an RP, right?
Oh yeah. So now you know me, like I'm a big wrestling fan. So now if you especially like in the era with the NWO and everything like that, and Stone Cold, The Rock, of course, it was definitely the big two, which was WWF, now WWE, and WCW. But then it was also ECW. You know what I'm saying? And ECW is where we got guys like Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle. That's actually where the Stone Cold character kind of originated from before he came over to WWF.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
and so like guys like Raven and like, so that was like, the kind of the little brother to WWE and WCW. And so Sabu was one of the hardcore originators. You know what I'm saying? So like all the tables, ladders, and chairs stuff that they do now that's commonplace now in WWE, like Sabu was one of the originators of that. He was the original king of hardcore. Like he wrestled a barbed wire match where like his arm got caught in the barbed wire and it like ripped the bicep off the bone. Yeah. And he got some duct, you know what I'm saying? He got somebody to duct tape his arm and he still, wrestled the match. And so like he was a very innovative person. Actually wrestled in WWE for a couple of years, wrestled in WCW for a little bit, but he was only 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very young guy. Because that's not old in the big scheme of things. Yeah. But he was somebody who I grew up watching, like jumping off of the top rope, jumping off the ropes and leg dropping, and I mean like those matches now, like you go back and watch them and they still hold up today. But it's a lot of guys now. If you watch wrestling, they kind of got their style from him. And prayers out to his family and his friends and stuff like that. Like I said, me and the twins, we was actually, now that they got it on Netflix, like we was sitting up watching for Monday night. We was sitting up, watching it for about an hour tonight. That's one thing. We sit up and we watch wrestling. And so, again, prayers to his family, you know what I'm saying, and friends and stuff like that.
For sure. The NBA draft lottery happened last night too, and so the Mavericks ended up having a number 1 pick, and so now it looks like they're going to have Cooper Flag as the number 1 pick, and they had a 1.8% chance of getting a number 1. And I'm hearing a lot of people talking, "Oh, it's rigged, it's rigged, it's rigged." We've been saying that for years, but I don't see how you can say it's rigged right now because Dallas got the number 1 pick. Dallas has never been a franchise to where, not like the Knicks or the Lakers or something like that, to where you would think, they were trying to push him over there. If anything, you would think they would try to push him to a market like Philly or a market like even San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are thinking, oh, they doing like in San Antonio, but Dallas, I just thought it was one of them things like when Chicago got the number 1 pick that year when they had like a 2-some whatever point chance or whatnot. But Cooper Flag with the Mavericks, bro. You talking about Kyrie, AD, him, Clay. They got the boy Christian coming off the bench and them 2 big dudes. If it was a fifth, we know AD going to play 60, 65 games. You know what I'm saying? It's really about what you do in the playoffs. But I do think it's a good move by Dallas to get Cooper Flag as no 1 pick.
Yeah, no. I'm not hating on the pick. I hope he pans out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, like I said, the Rigby is just true enough. Yes, Philly is a good market, but Dallas ain't a bad market.
No, it's a great market,
and
actually.
Luka had turned him around. Like Dirk actually, had him pretty good for a few years, and then they get Luka. But then it's like, okay, this is a guy who don't take conditioning very seriously. He don't take his health very seriously, and you seeing what's happening with Embiid and Philly. And when you're already not the most athletic, you don't have those natural athletic gifts, and then you got bad conditioning, and you got bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. Like, Larry Bird wasn't athletic and everything like that, but prior to him hurting his back, he was always in shape. Yeah. He was always conditioned. Yeah. Like when you watch him highlight, he's always running up and down the floor. Like, he was a very good defensive player. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made an all-defense team 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a couple of seasons where he averaged like 2 steals a game. Like, Larry Bird was not a slouch defensively. So, it's possible for you to not be overly athletic and still play defense, hustle to be in shape, condition well. Luka has all of the skill in terms of having put in the work, but it's like, okay, if we're trying to get back to that spot of being in the championship again, and we've established ourselves with like a Dirk to where now we're a perennial Western Conference Finals. We've played in a couple of finals. We've won the championship, so we know it's possible, and we want to get back to that status. Can you get us there? Because we know AD ain't got forever. You know what I'm saying? As much as skilled as Kyrie is, Kyrie ain't got forever. So if we got to lean on you, and so now you don't play defense already, then you're poor condition, and it seems like you don't take it very seriously. Yeah. Can we really put the keys in your hand to do this? No. And then on top of that, because you don't like us saying something to you about that, now when it come time for us to re-up with you, are you even going to re-sign with us? So, I mean, to your point, I saw you put something in the notes that you sent me, like, Nico looks like a genius now. Like, it's better to get, if I know it's a possibility that you might walk away, because they're having this same conversation with him with the Lakers now. Yeah. It's better for me to get something. Yeah. That's what they did. Like, if it's a possibility you might walk away, let's go on and get the most value for you. Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? And then we still put ourselves, because again, if AD don't get hurt and Kyrie don't get hurt, Dallas probably been in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, they definitely would have. Now I was thinking about this. Now, Cooper Flag, as far as potential, skills, talent, is probably the best white American player to come in the league since Larry Bird. Think about it. I can't think of anybody else that's American. Obviously we think of a lot of white players.
I mean, I would say, again, fit matters. Could you imagine
the talent?
Think about this, though. Could you imagine if Christian Laettner would have went to Boston instead of Minnesota?
No.
Christian Laettner been in the Hall of Fame because he wouldn't have had to play center because they still had Robert Parrish. Mm-hmm. So then you would have had some offensive, like he essentially would have been Larry Bird. He would have been a little taller, like not defensively, but to where now you don't have to play on the block. You can catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Or you can catch and take your man off the dribble and, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, because you can't tell me Tom Gugliotta was better than Christian Laettner. And that's what when they played together in Minnesota, that's what Tom Gugliotta did. He caught and shoot and take people off the dribble. Now, again, defensively, you ain't that. But, like, you got a guy who could potentially get 9, 10 rebounds, put up 20-something points shooting. I think he was a bad fit for Minnesota because they needed a big man, and they drafted him, and now you're playing versus Shaq. You're playing versus David Robinson and Brad Daugherty and Hakeem Olajuwon, and you ain't that. And, again, and he still put up 17, 18 points on them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, now, again, I think Dallas is a perfect fit for Flag because he can essentially go in and play, you know what I'm saying, like small 4 or big 3. You see what I'm saying? So, he a matchup problem either way. If they put him at the 4, ain't no 4s that can really guard him. You know what I'm saying? If they put him at 3, he over the 3s. So, he's in a win-win situation in that particular pick.
Yep.
You know, that's a great pick for them, and that puts him in a position to win. And to your point, I would say that, of course, you knew what Bird was going to be coming out, and he went to the best possible situation that he could go to in Boston. And then I would say since Bird, probably the next one could have been Leitner. You know what I'm saying? Had he been, because coming out, it was like, okay, he was clearly the best college player.
Yeah,
and it was arguable. He's a top 5 college player ever.
Yeah.
Like the only people you can put him above him as far as their impact in college are centers. Are the Lou Alcindor / Kareem. It is the Bill Walton. Is the Ralph Sampson who won, player of the year 3 years in a row. Like, the only people you can put ahead of him is centers.
Yeah, and Cooper won the college player of the year.
You see what I'm saying? Right. And
that's a freshman.
And where did he play it?
At Dookie.
And that's what I'm saying. And who was the last great Dookie to beat? That was Leitner.
Yeah. So I can see that. I'm rooting for him though. Like I'm definitely rooting for Coop. Now before we shut down here, Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. Yeah, prayers for him.
I mean, and again, like I said, I mean, again, like I don't like.
Make it quick. We a roll.
I am very sensitive towards the plight of women, but I'm very sensitive towards the plight of anybody. And the hate is because we like Megan Thee Stallion. Would the hate come if he had shot Lizzo in the foot? Probably not. And that's all I'm saying. Like, because we like Megan, so it's a problem that he shot Megan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he got stabbed in prison, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be in prison. Yeah. I'm just saying it sucks that, like, okay, he ain't in there for stabbing niggas up. You know what I'm saying? And the shot was an altercation. It wasn't because he just decided I'm going to go in Megan's house and shoot her up. It was some type of altercation that led to that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the fact that he's in there and that happened and he like, both of his lungs collapsed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, like, I'm not a fan of Tory Lanez. That ain't my nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck about Tory Lanez. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's some fuck, because guess what? Ain't nobody stabbed R. Kelly, wicked ass. And
Yeah.
that's what's bullshit. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you probably got stabbed in other ways.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
that man holding concerts.
You know what I mean? But I think that's it. I think that's all we got.
Oh, the Candace Owens cooking Jason Lee. She had Jason Lee stuttering.
Yeah, to me, why do people mess with Candace, bro? Like, I've never seen her get rattled or loot. Like,
well, to that point, even when she's losing the argument, she doesn't get rattled. Mm-hmm. But what fucked him up was because she made a very good point, and she was like, "We need to apply." And I've said this before, mm-hmm. and I ain't gonna lie. Candace Owens, I said this before. You can go check the tapes. The Prez X. I said we need to start apologizing to Rachel Dolezal because you don't remember. Mm-hmm. In her mind, she said, I feel like I'm a black woman. Mm-hmm. And we said, that's asinine. That's crazy. How can you be black? You're obviously Caucasian. Your parents are Caucasian. You are a white woman. And everybody agrees. Yes, she is. And so then the point that Candace was making, and then she asked Jason, and he said, oh, yeah, that's crazy because she's white. And he said, so then how can you be a man? And because you say you feel like a woman, that makes you a woman. And then he was like, well, hold up. Like, no. And she has a point. Now, if that's what you say you like doing, I like code switching, I like cosplaying, fine, do that. But don't say that you are because you're not.
Right.
Because that's not something psychological. That's something biological. No. Just like we're biologically black. We can say we identify, but we cannot biologically make ourselves be something other than what we are. No. And so that's the same. And even when we change the inwardly, our body still produce testosterone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna have a period. Yeah. You don't make enough estrogen, and so she had him stuttering. I've never seen him stuttering like that.
Yeah, you don't mess with Candace, bro. I'm sorry. Like, as many people disagree with her as I've seen be so loud and don't. I was like, you ain't gonna say that to her face. You're not gonna. You can say it to her face, but then you're going to walk off because you're not going to sit there and have a conversation with her to actually substantiate your argument, right? And so
I've seen her lose arguments, but I will say this, and it's a quote from my favorite TV show. What Omar told Weebay. You come for the king, you best not miss. You come for the queen. So now, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the times I've seen her lose, but to that point, even when somebody has made a better argument, she hasn't been rattled. And so it don't even look like she's losing because she's not rattled by your point. And she will, if you make a good point, she'll acknowledge, like, okay, you know what? I can see that okay, I get where you're coming from. She loses with grace. And so, like, the thing, but again, most of the time, not all the time, nobody's 100%, but most of the time when she's making an argument, it's been something that she's already researched, studied. She already has her points. She's not just speaking from emotion or pad, like, she's speaking from as logically as she can be logical. That's where she's coming from.
Leave that girl alone, y'all. Leave that girl alone. Y'all, until next time, continue with the executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Or Arrivederci. Bow.
Make sure I turn it off this time, because last time that joint was still on.
Oh, yeah, no, you was giving a Patreon show last time.
It was, okay. No, that joint said it was 7 hours and 36 minutes when